In the heart of the African savanna, under the scorching sun, a young elephant calf begins its life. The air is thick with the scent of dry grass and dust, and the distant sounds of the wild echo through the plains. The calf, a few days old, is barely able to stand, its legs wobbling under its own weight. Despite the early challenges of life, it's already clear that this calf is part of something much bigger, a herd, a family, where survival depends on cooperation and strength. The first few days of life are spent in close proximity to the herd. The calf's mother, a massive, wise matriarch, is always nearby, her trunk swaying with purpose as she guides her baby through this new world. She offers comfort, protection, and most importantly, safety from the dangers that lurk around them. The herd is tightly knit, with every adult elephant playing a role in the calf's early development. The calf's first lessons in life are not just about survival, but also about learning to be part of something much larger than itself. At this stage, the calf's main priority is to stay close to its mother. The dangers in the wild are immediate and unrelenting. Lions, crocodiles, and even other larger animals pose a threat, though the greatest danger often comes from the unseen, the harsh environment. The young elephant is still too small and fragile to defend itself, so it relies on its mother's protective presence. The calf follows its mother closely, sometimes stumbling over the uneven ground, but always feeling the reassuring guidance of her presence. As the days pass, the calf starts to notice the other members of the herd. There's the playful young elephants, roughhousing and exploring the surrounding area, and the older elephants, moving with a quiet dignity that comes with years of experience. There's a sense of harmony within the herd, a balance that ensures everyone's survival. The calf begins to understand that it is part of this intricate social structure. It is safe here, surrounded by its family, where the old guide the young and the strong protect the weak. The most striking feature of an elephant herd is its matriarchal structure. The leader, always a wise and experienced female, takes charge of the herd's movements, guiding them to water, food, and safety. The matriarch is respected by every member, and her decisions are followed without question. This hierarchy is essential for the survival of the herd, as the matriarch's experience and knowledge of the land allow the herd to navigate the challenges of the savanna. For now, the calf's world is relatively simple. It follows its mother and learns the ways of the herd. The calf watches how the older elephants communicate, how they use their trunks to gather food, and how they keep their young close and protected. The young calf quickly learns the importance of water. Water holes are the lifeblood of the savanna, and elephants will travel vast distances to find them. The calf learns that water isn't just something to drink. It's a place for social interaction, where the entire herd can come together to bathe, socialize, and recharge. The calf's first real lesson comes when the herd travels to a distant waterhole. The journey is long, and the young elephant's legs ache from walking under the hot sun. But there's no turning back. The herd moves as one, with the matriarch leading the way. Every member of the herd, from the oldest to the youngest, plays a part in making the journey a success. The calf struggles, but its mother nudges it along, offering support when needed. The journey is tough, but it's part of the calf's training. This is how the herd survives, by working together and enduring the hardships of the wild. Finally, after what seems like an eternity, the herd reaches the waterhole. The young elephant is overjoyed, and it rushes to the water, its trunk reaching out to drink for the first time. The calf splashes around, feeling the cool relief of water on its skin. The herd gathers around, drinking, bathing, and socializing. The young calf, overwhelmed by the sights and sounds of the waterhole, takes a moment to watch the older elephants. The matriarch, wise and strong, watches over the herd, ensuring that every member is safe and well. But the waterhole also represents the dangers of the wild. The herd is vulnerable here. Crocodiles lurk in the water, lions watch from the distance, and hyenas circle the perimeter, looking for an opportunity to strike. The herd is constantly on alert, ready to defend itself if necessary. The matriarch keeps a sharp eye on the surroundings, while the younger elephants, including the calf, stay close to her. The calf's first true test comes when a lion appears on the horizon. The herd freezes, and the matriarch takes charge, leading the young and vulnerable elephants to a safer location. It's a reminder that, in the wild, survival is a constant struggle, and every moment could be life or death. As the calf grows stronger, it begins to understand the importance of these survival lessons. The world is not as kind as it seems. The calf's first few months are a blur of learning, growing, and adapting to the rhythm of the herd. But life in the wild is unforgiving. Droughts can come without warning, and the resources the herd depends on can quickly vanish. The calf learns that life is fragile and that even the largest animals must fight to survive. Yet despite the challenges, there is beauty in the herd's unity. The young elephant starts to understand the importance of cooperation. The herd is a family, bound by loyalty and mutual care. They travel together, hunt together, and defend each other against the dangers of the savanna. The calf begins to see that it's not alone in this world. It is part of something much bigger, something that has existed for thousands of years. And as it watches the matriarch, the young elephant begins to realize the responsibilities it will one day inherit. The path to leadership is long, but it begins with understanding the ways of the herd and knowing when to lead and when to follow. By the time the young elephant is a few months old, it's already beginning to assert itself within the herd. It's no longer just a dependent calf, but a growing force, ready to learn and ready to lead. The matriarch's wisdom, the bonds of the herd, and the lessons of survival will guide it through the challenges ahead. The journey is just beginning. As the calf matures, its bond with the herd strengthens. The first few months are about learning from the elders, watching them as they navigate the challenges of the savanna. The calf starts to pick up the skills necessary for survival in this harsh environment. It learns to pick up food with its trunk, sift through the grass for tasty treats, and recognize the distant rumble of thunder, signaling a storm's arrival. The calf also begins to understand the social dynamics within the herd, the unspoken rules that govern its every move. By the age of 1, the calf's trunk is becoming more dexterous, and it starts using it to manipulate objects, much like the adults. The trunk is essential for an elephant's survival. It's not just for eating and drinking, but for communication, defense, and even affection. The calf's trunk becomes its lifeline, its primary tool for navigating the world. The calf spends hours practicing, mimicking the adults, learning how to use its trunk to pick up large branches, tear leaves from trees, and even throw mud onto its back for protection from the sun. At first, it struggles, but with time and patience, the calf becomes more adept. However, the savanna is never easy. The calf experiences the harsh realities of life as a wild animal. The first real test of strength comes during the dry season when water is scarce and food is hard to find. The herd moves long distances, often foraging in the early mornings and late afternoons when the sun isn't as intense. The calf watches as the matriarch leads them through unfamiliar terrain, constantly searching for water. The younger elephants, including the calf, rely on the matriarch's wisdom to find the water holes they know will be their lifeline during this trying time. The calf begins to experience its own personal hardships. The long journeys in search of water are exhausting, and the heat of the savanna is unforgiving. The calf feels the fatigue in its legs, its trunk dragging low to the ground as it follows the herd. But even during these tough times, the calf never loses sight of the herd's importance. The matriarch, with her leadership and experience, shows the young elephant the value of persistence and the importance of working together to overcome obstacles. The calf begins to realize that strength doesn't just come from size, but from unity and determination. By the time the calf reaches 2 years old, it is becoming more independent. It can walk for long distances and has begun to forage on its own. The young elephant starts to experiment with different ways of using its trunk. It practices grabbing and throwing things, sometimes even using it to bathe in water holes, spraying itself with water as the adults do. It also begins to understand the hierarchy within the herd more clearly. The older elephants, especially the matriarch and the older females, still guide and protect the younger members. But the calf starts to realize that it will one day assume a leadership role. It begins to assert itself more among the younger members of the herd, showing signs of confidence and strength. One day, while the herd is gathered around a watering hole, the calf experiences its first true encounter with danger. A pride of lions has been lurking in the tall grass, and they see the herd as easy prey. The calf watches as the adult elephants, led by the matriarch, prepare to defend the young and the vulnerable. The tension is palpable. The young elephant feels a rush of adrenaline, but it's reassured by the presence of its elders. The lions approach, their eyes focused on the calves, but the herd's response is immediate. The matriarch leads the charge, using her massive size and strength to push the lions back. The younger elephants follow, creating a protective circle around the calves. The lions, recognizing the threat of the herd, eventually retreat. The young calf realizes for the first time how powerful and united the herd can be when faced with danger. The sense of safety in numbers becomes a vital lesson for the calf, one that will shape its understanding of survival from that moment forward. As the calf grows older, it becomes increasingly aware of the dangers and complexities of the world around it. The young elephant learns to read the signs of the savanna, the shifting patterns of migration, the signs of drought, and the way the animals move. The calf learns that the wild is both beautiful and unforgiving, a place where every day brings new challenges. But the calf also learns that survival is about more than just strength. It's about knowledge, patience, and understanding the rhythms of the world. By the time the elephant reaches 3 years old, it is no longer a calf, but a young adult. It's physically capable, having grown stronger with each passing year. The trunk is fully developed, and the calf has learned to use it in ways that will help it navigate the world. The young elephant is more adept at foraging, finding water, and communicating with the herd. It's now ready to take on the challenges of the wild on its own. But the elephant also understands that it will always be a part of the herd. The bonds of family, of unity, are strong, and they are the key to survival in the unforgiving savanna. The matriarch's leadership has taught the young elephant valuable lessons about responsibility, leadership, and the importance of protecting the herd. The young elephant knows that it has a role to play in the future of the herd, and while it is still young, it is already thinking about what lies ahead. The path to leadership is long, but the young elephant is ready for it. As the seasons change, the herd faces new challenges. Droughts become more frequent, and the competition for water becomes fiercer. The young elephant's strength and determination are tested as it faces the harsh realities of life in the wild. But through it all, the young elephant remains steadfast, learning, growing, and adapting. The journey is far from over, but the young elephant is ready for whatever comes next.